3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Ghost Prayer Presents Horrorween! This is episode 8 of 13, and in this episode we talk about Monster Squad!
But who do you call when you have monsters?
We're the Monster Squad.
So a lot of you guys may not know, but I am giving away 2 masks by the end of this month. The first one is this scarecrow mask that I worked on. And all you have to do to win that mask is just simply hit the subscribe button down below and leave your name in the comments. If you've already signed up in the past, get a friend to sign up and leave your name below and you'll be entered in. And then there's this mask, which I'm giving away too. It's another mask that I made. And for this mask, all you got to do is go to my Patreon, the link's down below, sign up for as little as $1 and your name will be entered in to win this mask. The higher dollar tier you sign up for, the more entries you will get. Alright, so let's talk about Monster Squad. Monster Squad is a movie that really takes me back to being a kid. It fits in perfect with Goonies, Lost Boys, Fright Night, that whole early 80s, kids adventure movies. The thing about them is, they make me very nostalgic, and I really enjoy them. And originally going in thinking about this as like a kid's movie. But there's definitely some adult themes in these early 80s quote-unquote kids adventure movies that I don't know if adults are comfortable or okay with their kids watching now. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend all these types of early 80s movies for everybody's current kids. Current kids meaning your kids underneath the age of 12. I don't really think of it as anything more than PG-13 at most. But what was PG in the early 80s is definitely not really what we would consider PG now. So I feel like the people that'll love this movie and enjoy this movie, for the most part, are people like myself who look back on this time nostalgic because it was when we were kids. I personally didn't get to watch this movie when I was a kid, so I fell in love with it as a young adult, and I've loved it ever since. I had a strange upbringing where I wasn't allowed to have TV, so I didn't really see a lot of movies until I was a teenager. But these movies did still hit the right notes with me because of being from that age group. But the thing I love, I think, the most about these is how adventurous they are, but how much of a heart these movies had back in that era, how much friendships mattered, and it was just this fun adventure with your friends. And a lot of us can always identify with that, even if you're not quite old enough to have lived through this era. I still feel like a lot of people can identify with those elements. Monster Squad has never felt like the most original of these early to mid 80s adventure, horror adventure type of movies like Goonies, etc. But I've always felt like it's just so much fun because you have these horror monsters, these classic, ones that we look at as like the pioneers of horror, and it brings them all back into this one movie. And they find a way to just have this great adventure involving all these different creepy, monsters. The one thing I think is so fun about this, and always will be, is that it's a great gateway into horror. So like if you have a 12, 13-year-old, this is a perfect type of movie that's not super scary, but it still introduces them to the classic monsters and to the fun of horror and the fun of Halloween. This movie feels very Halloween to me, and that's part of what I love so much about it. Because of all the monsters all packed into this one movie, it just feels so Halloween. I love the humor in this, and even if the humor is a little bit adult in times, and there is a few little uncomfortable moments as far as if your kids are watching this movie, like the guys taking a picture of the dude's sister topless and then blackmailing her to do what they want her to do. I mean, yeah, that's a little bit problematic, but it's still fun, and I feel like other than a few little moments like that, your 12 or 13-year-olds would love this movie. I definitely think adults love this movie. I know me personally, it'll always be on my short list of movies that I love to watch this time of year. I'm assuming that most of you have seen this, but if you haven't, I recommend checking it out. It is not the greatest Halloween movie. It's not the greatest kids adventure horror type of movie. but it is one of those fantastic ones that just fits perfectly in with that nostalgic 80s horror. The ones that are a little more accessible to you if you're not into the super scary stuff, they're just fun. They're just a good time. They're not meant to be scary. Thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, horror can be fun. I will see you guys next time.
The Monster Squad.
Wolfman's gone mad.